what should guys really be thinking about when they start marketing 2024? Because it's got to be some critical decisions.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a tougher environment than what we've had the last few years. Now, 23 was a very hard year to market due to how expensive the crop was. We know that. You said you want to put it in the past and focus on 24. And I think that part of the problem with 23 into 24 is we continue to think about 21 and 22, which were actually awfully good. We know that. So, when you start looking at 24 profit margins, fertilizer's cheaper for most folks. You look at the farm doc numbers for the budgets, and those guys are a lot smarter than I am, but our average producer actually saw quite a bit of relief on dry fertilizer this last fall, and hydrous was the biggest one. Some folks $1,200 to $1,500 for the 23 crop and $600 or less for prepay for the 24 crop. So I actually think that you can do okay here. The problem that you have to deal with, Stu, is that you have to understand what's it cost me to put the crop out. The last 3 years, 21, 22, we didn't need to know what it cost to put the crop out. We could market any time of the year, and we actually made a lot of money. And so we've been through these cycles before. We got a little spoiled by not having to be a good marketer and have everything down to a gnat's rear end, if you will. You have to this year, though. You've got to know, hey, what's it cost me to put this crop out at my APH yields? What's my break even? And then if you're in a situation in January, February timeframe, and you're not profitable, but everyone's talking about how the market's going to go down, don't maybe get scared into making a sale that's not even profitable yet. I need to know what levels I can deal with, and then, what are we going to do? Heck, we may end up having to store the crop. It's a very long marketing year. Right now, I do think that the higher input producers are going to really have a hard time finding black ink. So, I want to be cautious as to how we approach those situations.
Should we have some time periods targeted when there might be higher market values to really get a good idea of when we should market at least a percentage of the crop?
I mean, typically, the seasonals, for instance, you might rally into pollination and whatnot. You might have a little bump here in February, a lot of times with crop insurance. Well, this year we may actually play hot potato with acres, because we've got big carries, world and U.S., for both corn and even beans now. After the January report, the 280 carry was actually up over 10% from the 245 we had going into January. So, it's the seasonals, you kind of almost throw them out the window at this point, Stu. They still happen to an extent, but, we're not the largest producer in the world anymore, so the seasonals have adjusted. They've adjusted towards Brazil as well. And so Brazil is actually your number one exporter for both corn and soybeans in the world. I mean, that's just the long and short of it. I do not expect that to change anytime soon, especially with our structure. So, I think that if I'm looking for a time frame, I think that sometime in the next 4 to 6 weeks, as you're trying to figure out acreage, as you're setting crop insurance, I've got to think we've got a shot at running back closer towards 5 again. Now, are we going to get on the top side of 5? I don't know. I know everyone's looking for 5, but if for instance, that, hey, at 480 basis board, I can make money, maybe let's step in there and lock a floor in. If you do get the opportunity up at 490 or 495, I wouldn't wait on $5 on your first sale if you haven't made any. Everyone else wants 5 too. It's going to make it really hard to achieve it.